Flip or Dump, the game show. I'm going to call it a game show, where we choose 3 tokens and we choose one to hold for the long term, one to flip for short term gains, and one to dump because we think it's not worth being in your wallet. As always, I'm here. My name's Robin. I'm a blockchain developer and co-founder of Wobble. I'm here with my co-founder Alex. And we're going to give you some non-expert, non-financial advice on 3 tokens that we've never seen before. This is our first time seeing it.
Yes, absolutely. And well, I guess today we're talking about 3 tokens that are fairly popular, quite well known. And the whole concept of today is we do not own, you don't hold any of these tokens, do you, Robin?
I don't know what they are. What are they? Have you already sent them?
Brilliant. Yes, so we've got it here in
Yes.
so XDZ or XDZ if you're in the US, FTM and XLM. So essentially Tezos, Phantom, and Stellar. The concept of today's conversation is, Ethereum is going up like many other tokens. There's been a lot of conversation about Ethereum killers, and so-called Ethereum killer that's going very well is Solana. So we all know Solana quite well. I do hold Solana, not financial advice. And the whole concept is, okay, let's review 3 other Ethereum killers that, and see if they have any potential. So yeah, very, very excited about this one because it will be slightly more complicated, I guess, because there are 3 large market cap tokens, but the beauty of it is that we don't know much about them. So great to discover more about potential good token.
Yeah, and the idea is behind all of this, we just look it up on CoinMarketCap, try and get some metrics that might be helpful, show you what we would do as non-experts, and it's a learning process, so just join us for the ride. So Tezos, I am aware of Tezos as a platform, and I think I have bought some Tezos NFTs in the past. So I have interacted with this blockchain. I'm aware of it. It's been around for a while. Let's do some analysis. Let's look at the price. It's been around since May. No, what's that? That's July 2018. So yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. If it's an Ethereum killer, it's taking its time. But the market cap is $895 million, which is huge, and $32 million trading volume. We often review tokens on this episode, which are much smaller. So it's nice to see something that has that's active and it isn't a rug and is actively supported. My recollection of Tezos is, was it Hick and Nunk or something? What's that NFT marketplace called on Tezos? Have I got that completely wrong?
I know one that's called Object.
Oh yeah, Object.
Object
I've
on
come across
Tezos,
that as
and
well.
there is a NFT marketplace, if I'm not wrong, it's on Tezos, originally founded by John Legend, and it's called One Off.
Right, yes, that is a good shout. One Off. That takes me back. So these during the bull run last time, Tezos was talked about quite a bit, and gas cheaper, and I guess there's other benefits as well. According to CoinMarketCap, Tezos is a blockchain network that's based on smart contracts in a way that's not too dissimilar to Ethereum. However, there's a big difference. Tezos aims to offer infrastructure that is more advanced, meaning it can evolve and improve over time without there being in danger of a hard fork. Interesting. Well, I guess that's what Ethereum can do as well, Bitcoin less so. The thing with Ethereum killers is what they offer that Ethereum doesn't, and a lot of the time they talk about throughput or bandwidth or the ability, like number of transactions per second, stuff like that, because that's a huge problem with Ethereum. The way Ethereum has tried to solve this is by pushing all of the volume onto layer 2s, and that makes gas cheaper and allows a lot more throughput. But things like Solana and Tezos, I assume, are much more centered around just the one layer. There's not multiple layers. They're just trying to lower transaction fees on the base protocol. So that is an attractive proposition to a lot of people, I think. Without having to like learn what a layer 2 ZK rollup is, you can just interact with one blockchain. In terms of pricing, we had a spike during the last bull market, and it has dropped considerably since then. Peaked around $8 and is now near a 1. And there's been a bit of an uptick lately, but like we've been saying, it's been an uptick with everything lately. But overall, yeah, the price is increasing, but not that great.
Yeah, still very far from the all-time high.
Yeah, and it looks like Tezos was released just after the first crypto bull run, or the big one in 2018, so they missed out on that. So normally what we do is like check the website and stuff, but it feels a little bit it feels like people should at least have some kind of understanding of what Tezos is. I'm not sure how much we're actually going to learn from the website. They've probably updated this quite a bit.
Yeah. I'd like to see if there's any tokenomics, vesting. Just heading over to DeFi Llama, see if it has any information. Reason being is because that's going to play a very important role in the price action as well. Because,
Very true.
you know, it could be that everybody thinks that, oh, great, you know, all tokens are going up. It will go all the way to its all-time high. And then you find out that there's going to be a very aggressive vesting schedule, and everybody's going to be dumping it, and it's not going to go up at all. So, anyways, I'll let you continue. I can see you've got a white paper. Is that right?
Yeah, sometimes a good way of looking at what's going on with the project and what the plans are is to look at the white paper. In this case, it was written in 2014. It's pretty dense. I'm not going to go through it. Maybe asking ChatGPT to pass it would be a good idea, but that's not going to give us a huge amount of information in terms of the tokenomics. Did you find anything interesting on DeFi Llama?
No, only about TVL. There's another place that we could go, which is Messari. We will add all these links anyways, so then everybody can use them. They're great resources. If you know, those times when we meet and talk about very low market cap tokens, it's a bit harder to get a lot of these updated information, but anything like Tezos, there's great resources on DeFi Llama and Messari as well. So I don't have anything yet, but let me just see if Messari has the tokenomics.
In terms of socials, they've got 450,000 followers on Twitter, which is, again, one of the biggest numbers we've seen. We've looked at probably pushing 100 tokens now, and this is by far and above the largest following. Because they've got huge amounts of funding, I guess. It looks like the white paper was 2014, it was released in 2018, and presumably they raised at some point with an ICO, I guess. I don't know the history of Tezos, but I'm sure they're very well funded. And definitely there's still a lot of volume going on. The thing I would like to know, which I'm not going to look into now, but because it's going to take ages, but I would love to know what the transaction volume is like now compared with when it launched, compared with the bull run in 2021, stuff like that. Is it increasing? Is it decreasing? And what the kind of usage of the various marketplaces and protocols on the blockchain.
Yeah. Also, it will be really interesting to see. There's nothing on Messari, unfortunately. They've got a chart for network activity. Messari has been updated massively, which is very nice, but a lot of it is behind paywall, which before it wasn't. So, you know, you have to respect that. They've got great data. We don't officially endorse Messari, but feel free just to go and explore it. Yeah, I think what would be interesting is to know not just that, but also what drives the value of Tezos, whether it's based on what you said, transactions, or like many other tokens, you don't pay transactions with that native token, and then the token's value is different. A really good example is Aave, where you don't really pay transactions in Aave token, and the value of the token is just based on other aspects.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm just seeing here. It looks like Man United and Man United Women have done possibly a token with or an NFT collection on Tezos. Yes, looks like an NFT collection. Oh, they're sponsored by Tezos. I did know that, or they used to be. So that's pretty significant. Nice. You need to be pretty big to sponsor Man United. But that may make you want to invest more or less depending on your football affiliation. I've seen conferences as well, Tezos conferences, so that gives you an idea of how big it is. In terms of, is it a Ethereum killer? I am an Ethereum maxi. I guess you could describe me as that. So I'm not going to go in yet and say that they're going to take over. But this is the purpose of like finding out more information. What reason could there be for it to take over? Do you know anything more other than I do? Because I know very little.
No. Something that is quite interesting is what we've got here, which is price and the TVL and how it's correlated. So I'm understanding that the value of Tezos token goes hand in hand with DeFi usage. What's interesting though is, check that out. This is price and TVL and the activity. So the green lines that we've got here, the green bars, are the developer commits. So it is interesting that developers are building more than ever based on DeFi Llama, of course. And developer commits have actually increased since June 2022, but it seems they're still struggling to keep pushing up that price. And it's interesting to see because in many other blockchains, the number of commits has actually decreased, and in this case, it has increased. So I think that's a positive thing. People are building on Tezos.
Yeah, that's a really good metric. I didn't realize that DeFi Llama had that. So if like you said, if developers are developing on a blockchain, they'll commit more code, and then that number will increase. 256. I wonder what that is. Can you pull the same number for Ethereum? Is that possible?
Yeah, Ethereum is a shortcut. Let's see, commits. Yeah, there we go.
4.76K. So I've just asked ChatGPT for a quick overview of Tezos and Ethereum differences. Consensus mechanism: Ethereum uses proof of work. Tezos also uses Ethereum uses proof of stake now. Tezos also uses proof of stake. A variation called liquid proof of stake. Ethereum you code smart contracts in Solidity, and Tezos offers a different approach. So different type of it's not EVM compatible. You can't use Solidity to build smart contracts. And governance in Ethereum, changes are typically proposed by the core development team and the broader community. In Tezos, it features a built-in governance mechanism which allows stakeholders to vote on protocol upgrades. Interesting. Tezos is designed to be more scalable from the outset. Apparently liquid proof of stake is more scalable. And Tezos, the on-chain governance model, allows for smoother upgrades without the need for hard forks. That's good. That's good.
Okay.
So
very cool.
Yeah, that's a quick overview. I guess we would, given more time, we would want to look more into what's going on with the marketplaces, what's going on with projects. Man United being on Tezos is a good thing. They're obviously getting a lot of brand recognition by being on their shirts. But has that translated into adoption? I don't know.
Yeah. Something that is also not so good. There's other Ethereum killers, I think, that are doing better price-wise. I'll just bring this up super quick. There's obviously other charts available on just on OKX. Looks like it's potentially the one of the initial centralized exchanges that listed it, so all the way back to March 2019. And what's not very encouraging is what we can see here. Look at that. So it's almost, yeah, it's actually battling to break through those levels back in 2019. So what that means is if it does not break through, then we could actually go into that uncharted territory, which is not really exciting. Again, not to recommend one indicator over another, since the RSI is open here, you can see it is heavily overbought. So if this level is overbought, it tells you there is a level that could indicate a correction, meaning that, it looks like this line here is more of a strong resistance over anything else. And so it looks like it could potentially drop. So from, again, a non-financial advice and a non-expert standpoint, it doesn't look very good for this Ethereum killer, I think.
Okay, that's interesting. Let's, what have we got next? Let's have a look at FTM. So I know next to nothing about Phantom. I've heard the name, but that's about it. What's your Phantom knowledge like, Alex?
Nothing. I really know nothing. So that's why I'm quite keen on learning a bit more about it.
Okay, so let's have a look. First thing, we always look at 2018. It seems like it's been around since 2019, April 2019-ish. And there was a big spike in price. Actually, there was nothing for a very long time until 2020. Like 2021 was the time that during the bull run it seemed to take off, and some massive increases from just like 1 cent up to $3, and now it's gone down to about 30 cents. And as with everything, it's doing well lately. Let's have a look, see if we can find out some more information. 875 million market cap, 121 million volume in the last 24 hours. And
that's not nothing.
That's
very good.
Yeah. Let's see if we can find out some information from their websites.
Yeah, what is FTM?
Partners and integrations, Chainlink, Ren, Band Protocol, The Graph, Waves. So very tech-heavy integrations. Chainlink is famous for their oracles and their price oracles. The Graph is famous for providing blockchain indexing services. Band Protocol I've heard of, but I couldn't tell you what they do.
We've reviewed Band Protocol, so we'll leave that link as well.
Good idea. Speed, security, scalability. Those are the three buzzwords that you'll find on every blockchain's page. Phantom's ABFT consensus protocol delivers unparalleled speed, security, and reliability. Enjoy almost instant transactions and extremely low fees. Oh, it's Ethereum compatible. Okay, so it's EVM compatible, which makes a huge difference from a development perspective, because that means that if you write a contract in Solidity on Ethereum, it will instantly be transferable to Polygon, Avalanche, Optimism, and apparently Phantom, and all the other EVM compatible chains, of course. 200 plus dApps already deployed on Phantom, Spooky Swap, Spirit Swap, Beethoven X. I see Phantom, Spooky. I get it. There's like a death theme going on. Beethoven X, Curve is on Foundation, as is 1inch, and I guess a lot of the other major marketplaces. Lending and borrowing, we've got some lending protocols, what you'd expect, NFT platforms, PaintSwap. I've never come across PaintSwap. Let's see if we can find out what PaintSwap is going on. What's going on in PaintSwap? Let's see if there are any large collections on PaintSwap.
17 million in volume. I'm not sure if that's daily.
Seeing 12. Oh, that's in Phantom. I have no idea what that is. 12,000 Phantom per day.
Phantom is a $0.3 at the moment.
Okay. I mean, that's pretty small. That's 41 sales, 46 sales per day is not a lot when it comes to a marketplace. So we can safely say that at least on PaintSwap, there is not much going on. GameFi, tools, wallets, oracles. Nice, nice, nice. Chainlink obviously has some kind of oracle data on Phantom. Cool. Yeah, I mean, this is what you'd expect. Oh, we integrate industry leaders. We integrated industry leaders, Oracle providers, Chainlink. That's a difficult sentence to say. And BAM protocol for your maximum flexibility to access price feeds. That's good because oracles on mainnet Ethereum are very expensive.
Yep.
So that's a good use case for another blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
Stake on Phantom, earn rewards by staking your FTM to secure the network. So it's proof of stake. Choose your staking preference. Start earning with a few clicks. So that's pretty
nice. I like that you can select your lockup period. Many other blockchains, when you lock your tokens, they tell you how long they're going to lock your tokens for. So just having that flexibility and deciding how long you want your savings to be, custodied by somebody else. It's, a very nice little feature.
Yeah, I like it. Earn up to 6% APR. And let's see, compared to Tezos, what's their social platform like? 500,000 again. So very similar Twitter following sizes. Obviously, that's just one social network. But sorry, I should say X. But that's a similar kind of size. I don't know of an easy way of checking transaction volumes, and to be honest, I'm not sure that's a good metric to look at because it's very easy to fake transaction volume. A better one would be TVL or some kind of information like that, which I guess you probably be able to get from DeFi Llama. Let's have a look. Can we look at TVL by chain? Let's see if we've got Phantom.
Yeah, I've got it here as well.
Okay.
Oh, you've got it?
Not yet.
Bring it up. Here we go. So that is the TVL. If we compare that with the token price, we see token in pink, fuchsia, and then we've got TVL in blue. So there you have it. It's interesting as well to see if people are developing, and interesting, like we said earlier, many other blockchains have less commits during this period, and you can see how the number of commits has decreased on Phantom compared to when we looked at Tezos that actually had increased despite lower TVL and lower token price. So I think that's an interesting metric.
Yeah, it looks like TVL has just dropped through the floor since July this year. There seems to have, or April, May sort of time, there seems to have been a big drop in both TVL and price. And TVL just hasn't recovered at all, really. So that's not a good sign. And commits seem to have dropped to, is that 7? That's terrible. Yeah.
Yep, in the last month. We can actually just isolate those commits and you can see the charts a bit better. And we can actually just put it against TVL. So it seems that people were a bit more excited back in 2019. It grew. And it seems that, just the fact that TVL grew, it kind of played against the number of developments, as you can see. I'm not sure if it's, correlated, but, it's interesting to see how there was a major peak and then TVL still kept growing, but people stopped developing. So I wonder where they went, because developers don't just stop because they don't want to develop anymore. They go and develop in another blockchain. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see.
EVM compatible blockchains are constantly struggling with that double-edged sword. On the one hand, it's easier to get developers in, but also it's harder to keep them because they can easily just jump ship and go and code smart contracts for another blockchain at the drop of a hat.
Yep. There we go. I'd love to then go and look at this, because despite everything else, it's not all bad for this. Now, to put this into perspective, is yes, it's slightly overbought, but it looks like it's breaking. Let me just zoom in a bit more. Looks like it's trying to break through. It's tested twice, breaking through that resistance. So if it does break through, which potentially it could then go and retest the next level. Otherwise, it could just do the opposite. And then, pardon my ugly paths, they're really not consistent, but ignore, it's not the point. It could drop another 50%. Who knows if that is the case, or go up about 80%. So if it does break through, which could be fairly possible since it still has a bit more room within that oversold levels, we could see at least a retest of this of 0.5, where there was this previous peak, which it repeated once, twice, and then the price repeated there. So it looks like it could potentially even retest the liquidity left at this level, which leaves it on a 50-50 opportunity. There we go. 50 drop or 50 up. Interesting looks.
Yeah, with the markets currently doing quite well for most tokens, it's difficult. It's difficult to pick a winner in the same way. When the market's level or in a bear market, then some go up, some go down. But in this case, everything's going up pretty much. It's just where it stops and how far it goes up and how fast it goes up, I guess, and whether it breaks through those resistance lines. Cool. So
Yep.
Should we move on to XLM, or have you got any more thoughts on Phantom?
No, let's do it.
Stellar.
I also don't know anything about Stellar.
No, this is new for me as well.
Mm-hmm.
So Stellar XLM started around 2015. Wow, this is old, and then really didn't pick up any kind of traction until May 2017. We had a very big spike for the 2018 bull run, and then another one in 2021, which you'd expect. And then it's been kind of stable since then, actually. This is quite a positive price movement, I would say. The last year or so, it's been consistently, obviously there's been dips, but there's consistently increasing overall. The average movement has been very positive. And we've gone from, let's see, like back in the end of last year, we were looking at 7 cents. And now we're looking at 12 cents. So 0.1234. Did you see that? That's a good sign. If I was superstitious, I would buy Stellar. Not financial advice or spiritual advice. So we've got $93 million of volume, $3 billion market cap. And let's see what we can find out, because we know nothing. Stellar is a peer-to-peer decentralized network. Peer-to-peer. Surely all decentralized networks are peer-to-peer. Anyway, created in 2014 by the Stellar Development Foundation, or Stellar.org. The network officially launched in 2015. Blah, blah, blah. XLM or Lumens. Okay, this is quite dense. Let's find the website. Stellar is where blockchain meets the real world. Sorry, yeah, go on.
I was just going to say, in the meantime, I'm trying to find a reliable chart, because you've got that on CoinMarketCap that looks really interesting, but I cannot find the same numbers on TradingView.
Interesting.
But yeah, continue, please. Sorry.
You'd expect there would be something on TradingView with the volumes that CoinMarketCap is quoting, but so where the blockchain meets the real world, I'm thinking oracles. I'm thinking some kind of off-chain data connection. Stellar empowers builders to unlock human and economic potential. It combines a powerful decentralized blockchain network with a global ecosystem of innovators to create opportunities as borderless as ideas. Okay, that's very top level. Let's actually see if we can find some details. 90 active grants, 81k on ramps. Powering builders locally, making an impact globally. MoneyGram, Circle, the UN Refugee Agency. Interesting. So I guess these are some of the partners that are working on Stellar.
Interesting.
MoneyGram digital assets are more accessible today than ever before. Now anyone can visit a MoneyGram location to deposit with. So international payments, perhaps, are something they're targeting here.
Yeah, MoneyGram is a very famous way of sending money across borders. So I'm guessing that they're using the Stellar network for faster payments.
Yeah, I mean, that is one of the fundamental use cases of blockchain technology, to send money. Why pay $50 of fees when you can pay none? But obviously you've got to get the money out of the crypto. But it does make a compelling use case for using blockchain technology. But yeah, the website not massively helpful when it comes to comparing it to other blockchains. Let's see their Twitter following, their X following. 760k.
It's okay. I call it Twitter still. Yeah, 760k. Wow, a bit more.
Yeah, it's like 50% more than the other two, which is impressive. Maybe they have a better social marketing team. We'll see.
They've been out for longer as well.
Yeah, that's true. So let's have a look at their GitHub. Sometimes this is not linked, but it's always interesting to see what kind of commit cadence they have. Looks like we've had a few commits the end of last week. And insights, let's see if we can see any interesting. 12 active, 9 active issues. Not massively useful, to be honest. But they're obviously the code base is still active. That was the main thing to check there.
Yeah, check that out. That graph is looking a bit better than Phantom.
Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Consider that this is November. Let me remove this. There we go. That's November. It looks like less, but obviously we're second week of November, so give it some time. And there we have it. So it's been growing since 2022. If we look at this graph, there's a bit of a curve going from 2022. So far, very active development community.
Interesting. The target audience of Stellar is the inhabitants of developing countries. So I guess they're targeting the unbanked and maybe the bankless people of this world, of which there are many. And I think a lot of people think that instead of developing in first world countries, actually crypto and blockchain technology is more suited to places that don't have the infrastructure, the financial infrastructure already, and we just leapfrog all of that stuff, all of the centralized TradFi institutions, and just go straight to blockchain technology, which is a compelling argument, I would say. What makes Stellar unique? Fees are a sticking point for many. However, high costs when making cross-border payments aren't just exclusive to fiat-based payments solutions such as PayPal. Transaction fees have been known to go through the roof on Bitcoin and Ethereum because of congestion. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a claim of all alternative blockchains. If you can't do something about transaction fees, then you've got a problem, because Ethereum has the market as far as everything else is concerned. Is it EVM compatible? That's the question I have. I don't know if you've come across anything on that topic, Alex.
No, I guess it's a really quick Google search. And I think very interesting case, because everybody's looking into institutions, etc. But there's a very large, surprisingly large number of people that go overseas for work and then they send money back home, and they need to deal with really large fees between conversion, banking, and the transfer. So if these guys are resolving it, it's very good vision, and it's a great use case because you're essentially innovating for people that actually need it the most.
Yeah, why pay a bank simply for the pleasure of sending your money abroad? I don't think that's something that you should be paying for them if you don't have to. So I'm just looking at a comparison between Stellar and Ethereum, and Stellar is primarily focused on facilitating cross-border transactions and digital representations of various forms of money, dollar, pesos, Bitcoin, etc. It's designed to make it easy to create, send, and trade digital representations of all money. In terms of consensus, Stellar uses the Stellar Consensus Protocol, a unique federated consensus mechanism. SCP provides quicker and cheaper transactions than proof of work or proof of stake, and is designed to protect against forks. I guess similar to the other blockchains we've looked at today. And then in terms of transaction speeds and costs, Stellar is known for its extremely fast transaction speeds and very low costs, which makes it very efficient for cross-border transfers. I guess it would be possible to find out what kind of adoption this is getting. If their target market is third world countries and cross-border payments, that would be able to it would be possible to see what kind of value was being sent through those, what kind of value was being transferred on a regular basis. If I was going to invest significantly in Stellar, I would want to know how much money is crossing borders via Stellar.
Yeah, good point. I'm guessing that if they're integrated with MoneyGram, which is again quite popular, I'm not sure how popular there's others like TransferWise and Western Union and that kind of services. It would be interesting to see how much money MoneyGram moves, and then yeah, I agree with you. Essentially, just not to ramble. Let me just because we've been here for 45 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Let me have a really quick look at this. Now, I'm looking at it from a weekly chart at the moment. The other two, we looked at them on a daily chart. So obviously data is going to be different. I wanted to start with this. Why? Because number one, it gives a better perspective, especially for a token that has been trading for such a long time. Now, the one thing that's interesting is it has some room for growth in the next couple of weeks. So it could be an interesting 60% growth if it goes up to test this resistance there. Now, why I went into the weekly was to show this perspective. Many other tokens that have been trading for a long time, Bitcoin, Ethereum, they had that major spike in 2017, 2018, okay, which is what we've got here. But if we just draw these horizontal lines for perspective, it's not a good sign that the previous bull market had a higher all-time high and it was not met afterwards. So if we bring up the Bitcoin chart on the weekly, we can see it had a major peak, and then we can see that on the other bull runs we had a much higher one. If we go into Ethereum, more of the same, very clear here 2017, 2018, and then obviously a much higher price tag right there. But when it comes to XLM, if we go back, we can see that it had that bull run, it had that all-time high, but much lower. We can actually see how much lower. So yeah, 15% drop. So it's important to note these things just for the long term, since we're looking at hold, flip or dump. It's it's an interesting thing to look at, and not forget that there's multiple factors that can affect that, but it could be that there was a vesting schedule that just pushed investors to liquidate quickly. It could be different things, but it's not a great sign to see that downtrend from all-time highs in bull runs. So yeah, that's something I wanted to bring up.
Yeah, definitely something to consider. Okay, so we've been going a while. Should we move to our decisions? So hold, flip, or dump. I think it's my turn to go first, so I'll just jump right in.
Take it away.
So I am going to hold Stellar because it's not often you get a specific target market like that for a blockchain, and a lot of them seem to be doing the same thing, essentially competing on the same turf. But Stellar seems to be targeting a very specific use case, money transfers in a very specific market, the third world. Well, that's not that specific, but it's an interesting business proposition, and actually it's funded by a non-profit. So yeah, very different, very interesting, a worthy cause, and could potentially provide a very useful service to millions of people. So I'm going to hold that token in the hopes of long-term credibility, and I'm going to flip Tezos because I am aware that it's very popular. It's been used for a while, but I don't think it has much to offer in terms of, at least from the little I know about it, in terms of unique value adds. I don't think that there's much you can do on Tezos that you can't do on other blockchains that might be doing it better. I have some Tezos NFTs, I think. I haven't checked them in a long time. I suspect they're not worth anything. And it just feels like, why build on Tezos when you can build on 1,000 other blockchains? I can't find a compelling reason. So I'm going to flip that simply because the price is going up, and it's probably likely to continue going up for a little while. So what I would do is try and work out a price to get out, get in now, work out a reasonable price to get out, and try and make a bit of money. And then I'm going to dump Phantom because I think it belongs in the graveyard of blockchains. Again, I don't know much about Phantom, so I apologize profusely if you are a Phantom maxi and I've missed something. Please leave it in the comments, but that's the one I'm dumping for today.
Nice. Okay, I think that we agree on the token to hold. I did talk about, let me show this chart one more time. I did talk about, yeah, there we go. I did talk about how it's not a good sign that, at least for me, of course, that the all-time high hasn't been met again. However, from this standpoint, I think that there's still a bit of room, and a very potential safe new high to meet would be up here at 40 cents. And that is a very nice, almost 4x from where it is at the moment. So I would hold this in the long term. And in terms of dump, I would actually dump Tezos. We disagree on that, Robin. But the reason being is just price action wise. I do understand that it's maybe, from a development and fundamentals standpoint, might be a bit better than Phantom. But again, I don't know anything about these two blockchains really. So basing it on price action, I think that this token has a bit more, a higher probability of going towards a new territory in terms of lower levels really. So once again, I will hold Stellar. I will flip Phantom. Just again, if it breaks through this level, there's a really nice potential 50% gain in the short term. I'm not sure long term really how it would look like, but it also allows me to, if it doesn't break through, to, just get out of that investment as soon as possible. And then once again, my dump token will be Tezos.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess for me the killer was the blockchain, the GitHub commits for Phantom going next to zero. That is not a good sign, especially for an EVM compatible chain. And Tezos, whilst not even EVM compatible, has already got people developing on it, and maybe there's some future there. Who knows? But I think we both agree Stellar is an exciting project and definitely looks like one for the future. I don't know if Rickard, you've been following along and you want to jump in if now is a good time, but feel free to give us your hold, flip, or dump if you are still around.
I was here, I was listening, but I gotta hide from the children to speak. So it was very interesting. I holded Stella some time ago, but I probably flipped too soon, as well as Solana and many others. So I think I need to reconsider all of my positions and be quiet and also study, pay attention and make decisions based probably in more options. So I'm going to stay quiet around those 3 Ethereum killers at the moment and just waiting for the next one.
Nice. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Thanks for the feedback. Okay, so that's our whole flip dump for this week. Thanks for watching. Any closing remarks, Alex?
No, I think that it's been a great thing for us to not do these reviews on our previous video platform, because now we're not getting cut out, but it also means that we're extending. So if you made it all the way until now, which is almost 60 minutes, well done. If not, then I recommend that you just speed up on YouTube. You can put 2x. It's also a bit more interesting as well. You pay more attention, and it will only take half an hour of your time. But if you've got any feedback, suggestions for tokens, please drop them in the chat. Send us a tweet or an X, and we'll do this again next week. So thanks.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Alex. Thanks, Rickard. We'll see everybody next week. Have a good one.